self-determination groups, the violent self-determination groups to take over the protests. We should not allow hoodlums to take over the protest. We should not allow terrorists and bandits to take over the protests, because there are bad people, there are patriotic elements now who want to exploit the situation to unleash mayhem on Nigerians, and thereby give the security agencies the opportunity to start shooting at people and start killing people. We must do everything, and even this goes to the organizers too of the protest. We must do everything to make sure that we minimize the collateral damage. Collateral damage, there's nothing you can do about that. It's going to come. We know from experience, we know that. So, but the government must be responsible enough to ensure that they protect the people that are protesting and not the ones who are looting. The citizens, the people, must also collaborate with the security agencies to ensure that anybody that goes on a looting spree, anybody that wants to rape, anybody that wants to rob, anybody that wants to steal, even the citizens should conduct citizen arrest of such individuals and hand them over to the police. And this is a warning to all the agent provocateurs who want to exploit the goodwill of the people, the noble cause of Nigerians who want to protest against bad governance, against bad economy, against hunger in the land, against unemployment, against insecurity. That we want them, that the Nigerian people will not take it easy with them, with or without police protection. If you break any shop, there will be a citizen arrest. If you attempt to rape anybody, there will be citizen arrest. We should not wait for the police to arrest bad people. Let us arrest them and hand them over to the security agencies. Whatever we do today, whatever we do tomorrow, for the next 10 days, we should do it within the purview of the law, in a peaceful manner, in an organized manner. We have said, stop agonizing, organize. And now we are organizing. In organizing, we should not allow hoodlums to come and disorganize our organized protest. It is very, very important for the citizens to be alert. And then, be the eye and the ear of Nigeria, anywhere you are. If you see something, say something, do something about it.
You just quoted Nelson Mandela that no force can stop a people who are determined to get their freedom. Do you think Nigerians are really ready for freedom? Because when you find where people want to talk about the situation they are facing, and another group is coming because, like we say in Nigeria, because you are eating at the table as well, and you come and protest against the protest and all that, are we really ready as a people? You talk about a mode of selecting our leaders, and even when you find somebody who is not competent enough because he's your person, you will vote, or because you are given 500 naira, 1,000 naira, you will vote. Even the anti-protest that we're seeing, we've seen videos on the internet where people are being paid for going out to protest against the protest, which means some of these people, and some of them said that they were deceived into going to protest against the protest. They were told that there was going to be an empowerment. Possibly that 3,000 or 5,000 is the empowerment. So they just went there, carried placards. Before they knew it, it was carried that they were protesting against the protest and all that. So are Nigerians really ready for the change that we want? I'm not talking about ready for the violence, but I'm talking about ready for the change that we need in this country.
That is the social reality of every nation, every country. Definitely, you don't expect 200 million people to agree on one thing and say yes. The A's have it or something. There must be some kind of, and that's also the beauty of democracy. There must be people for and against. But for those people who have gone to protest against the protest, I have no tears to shed for them. I have no sympathy for them whatsoever, because if they should know that the people that are planning to protest are protesting against people that are doing bad in government. Then you have to say that you want to now protest against the protest that is a protest in your own interest. And then they have shown them their reality, who they truly are, that there are people in government who are deceivers, there are people in government who are bad people, there are people in government who are corrupt. They've shown them how corrupt they are by pushing them there into the elements. You know, I saw the videos were complaining about bichi, all those things. There's no water, there's no food, there's no money, there's that, and they are stranded. I mean, all of us are stranded anyways. So that is they've just experienced their own mini stranding. So they should remain stranded there, because when you are, I pity them in a way too, because it is because of the hunger and frustration of the land that made them to agree to go and mortgage their inheritance by collecting 2,000, 3,000 naira to go and protest, which never came around. And that is what has been happening in this country. Even the people that are in power, that are promised everyone an act, that are promised us to renew our hope, are crushing the hope. They are destroying the hope. It's quite unfortunate. So, well, there will be people who, no matter what, no matter how bad the government may be, that it will still have its own adherents, it will have its own supporters, and the rest of that. That is how it is. Especially, like you said, there are people who are eating from the table, who don't want to rock the table, don't want to shake the table. But it is for us who are far away removed from the dining table that must find a way to shake the table. You have to shake the table for the people who are dining to know that there are people who are hungry while they are dining and getting fat, and Nigerians are getting thinner and losing weight. And in Nigeria, you don't need to go to the gym. The economy will deal with you. The social relations will deal with you. You lose weight naturally. That is it.
Yeah, well, so the last president said that if you lose weight, that it shows that you're working really hard. So if you're losing weight, maybe you are working hard.
That is that kind of what do you call them now? Comedians that we have in power. The people that really, they don't. You see, these people know nothing about leadership. I just don't understand. That is what I mean. I don't think God will put bad people in leadership when He knows that they do bad. So for us in this country, somehow we get there because I don't think even the government saw this coming so suddenly. Whether it is the Kenya thing that has now woken up our people or whatever, somehow one day we know that this is coming. We know that this is coming. Nigeria will not remain docile forever. Nigeria will not remain so cool in the midst of suffering forever. One day is coming. People are going to rise up, and then they are rising up. And the best we can do is to encourage Nigerians to continue to demand for what is right. We cannot have an economy like this that people cannot afford gari, people cannot afford rice, people cannot afford to send their children to school, and then we are using 120 billion naira to renovate the house of one person just because he's the vice president of Nigeria. For what reason? I mean, they should show leadership. You cannot be buying cars worth several billions of naira when people are hungry. You cannot afford to have a National Assembly that is giving a car worth 120 million, worth 150 million, 180 million to each individual because they are members of the National Assembly. When people are hungry, when people in their constituencies cannot go to farm because of insecurity, because of Boko Haram, because of kidnappers, because of bandits, and then you are people and you can afford to drive a 180 million jeep to a village where they cannot afford to send their children to school. Even the people stole you and burned the car, nobody can blame them for that. These people in power have taken Nigeria for granted for too long.
Yeah, okay. Comrade, just right now, because of the protests that they were informed about, government has been doing some things. For instance, they have removed the tariff on essential food items, and they also have said that there are designated centers where you can get this rice for 40,000 naira. That's like 50% of what the market price is, and so many other things that I think the president is approving. In the past few days, he has been approving, even though I still have a problem as a person that he did not address the Nigerian people and all that. But government seems to be not proactive, but they are reacting to this and doing a lot of things that maybe are part of what we are saying. So if you go on the streets and realize that what they are saying that they are doing right now is really true, will you still carry the protest to 10 days? Will there be any need for that? Because even before the protest, it has had a very, very meaningful effect. But now you're still going to the street. Will you still carry it for 10 days, even though these things are being done and some of these things are being corrected?
You see, look, if the government decides to do something that will be meaningful and impactful on the people in a positive way, nobody likes to go and stress himself on the streets. Nobody will have done that. All these things you have read out that they have said they are doing, they have removed tariff, they are doing this, they have put food in designated places. How many are those places? How accessible are they to the Nigerian people? The last time I checked, people are still going to the market to buy, to use their money to buy at the rate of 85,000 naira bag of rice. I'm a family man. I gave my wife money to go and buy. We didn't see any designated spots where people can go. Because these people, they are bereft of management capacity. They have no ideas about governance. They have no ideas how to manage the economy. That is why I told you about staccato of policy somersault. This is what you see. Must you wait until people say they are going to protest to remove tariff from food? Didn't you see that the food items prices have skyrocketed?
Okay, Comrade Adebayo, just a moment. Hold that thought there. I'd like to go now to Plateau State and hear what the situation is. We're being joined by Tom Elisha, a social commentator in Plateau State. Elisha, good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning, sir.
Okay.
Thank you for having me on the show.
Yes. We'd like to have a situation report of what is happening right there in Plateau State. What's the situation? Are people gathering? Is there peace? Is there whatever? Just tell us what is happening in Plateau right now.
Yeah, right now, people are coming, and the gathering is not really that much, but the people are coming, and the gathering momentum gradually. So it's not something that you just see people coming at once, but people are converging on Old Airport Junction, usually the spots where people usually gather for protest.
Okay. Well, in so many states, the people who want to protest have been restricted to particular locations. Is that the same case in Plateau State?
Yeah, it's not really. The protest on the plateau, especially within the properties, usually the gathering point has always been that old airport junction. From there, people will begin to move. Sometimes they will move to the state assembly. Sometimes they will move to the polo roundabout. Sometimes from there, they will move to the government house. So it's more like an ideal place where people normally converge on to now move to other place where they can register their grievances.
Okay. In some other states, there's some kind of tension because of opposing groups that are coming up. Some say do not protest. Some are saying that we have to protest and all that. So there's tension. Is that the same thing in Plateau State? What is the general feel of the people towards this protest?
The general feel of people towards the protest is that people are free to express their grievances, and we don't really have any group that is coming out to speak against the protest on the plateau at the moment, to the best of my knowledge. Yes.
Okay. So, what has been the response of the governor of Plateau State towards this protest generally? Has he made any comments? Has he talked to the people or something? What has been his reaction to it?
Well, maybe the reason why the protest has not really gathered the kind of momentum it's supposed to gather, maybe it's largely due to the personality of the governor and what the governor has been doing in the state so far. But generally, people are ready to come out for the protest. But I'm sure as time goes on, people will begin to come out and express their grievances against the general situation in the country.
Okay, well, in the course of this program, maybe we'll have to reconnect with you and find out what it is. It's still early in the day. It's about 12 minutes to 8 o'clock. So maybe by 8:30, there will be additional information that we might hear from you. So we'll try to reconnect with you as the program goes on. Thank you for your time.
By then I'll have more to also say about the protest and what's going on.
All right. Thank you very much.
Where I am.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Okay. So, Comrade Adebayo, let me come back to you. Let's look at some of the headlines on the national daily. Some of them are are different from what we're talking now. Some of them are related. So let's just look at some of these headlines on some of our national dailies, starting with the Daily Trust newspaper right there. The Daily Trust says, as protest begins, government urge restraint, reduce demonstration to 1 or 3 days. Organizers' lawyer, that's Adegburua, said that. Bandits, insurgents may hijack rallies, Secretary to the federal government said. Bomb scare in Lagos, Abuja, residents stockpile food. We won't tolerate violence, governors warn. Provide security for journalists, MRA tells federal government. We also have the same kind of story. Why protests unnecessary by Akume, Edum, Bagudu, Alake, and all that? That's the question I asked, whether what the government has done is enough, and then what will there be any need to take the protest beyond the 3 days? Anxiety in states as protesters insist, ignore government's appeal, and all that. We've covered some of these in our talk before this moment. Now, there are some other headlines that we may not have talked about. National Assembly reenact 2024 Appropriation Act. Let's talk about that. What is your take on the fact that they have reenacted the 2024 Appropriation Act? We have this information that right now Nigeria is operating almost like 4 budgets, you know, the one of 2023, and then the supplementary one for 2023. We have the one of 2024 and another supplementary one for 2024, about 4 budgets that we are operating at the same time. So possibly this is the headline that also talks about that. National Assembly reenacts 2024 Appropriation Act, passing, what is the writer there? Passage rowdy in the House. What is your take about this?
What all this tells you, what this tells you is just the fact that the people who are in government are confused. That they are just totally confused. They confuse what. That's what we have, because you cannot be having this. Go and look at all the appropriation acts and look at the contradictions. Look at the budget deficit, the heavy budget deficit, and then how much we are using to service debt, and then how much is going to development and infrastructure and the welfare of the people. Nothing even for the welfare of the people, as far as I know. The Humanitarian Affairs Ministry has not been doing what it's supposed to be doing, what it's set up to do. And of course, the president is sitting down there and doing nothing about it. All the majority of the budget is just that most of these things are going to servicing the luxury, the luxurious lifestyles of the people that are in power. That's just what I see about it. It's confusing. Which country, which same country, which country that is making progress you see that is having all this type of budgetary confusion, budgetary contradictions? It just tells you that how confused the people that are in government, how confused they are. That is just it. That is what this tells us. That's just this defines totally confused individuals in government who don't know what to do. So they wake up today. What do we do today? What do we do tomorrow? That's what they do not. You know, these people are not prepared for governance. They are not. That's what this tells you. They are not prepared for governance. People, you need to see beyond tomorrow to be able to be a good leader in government. You need to be able to see. You must have both the psychological and the ideological clarity to be able to manage the affairs of the country. The people at the helm of affairs now don't have such, and that is why you can have such confusing, budgets everywhere. Then you begin to wonder, how do you even monitor the implementation of these budgets? Even the National Assembly, the budget act, the appropriation act they are passing, their committees, can they even manage or monitor these budgets, how they are being implemented? Whether it is 1%, 2%, 10%, or 0%. How would they be able to monitor this? I think it may be a deliberate action to confuse the public itself. Maybe it's just a deliberate action to confuse the public. And in all of these budgets, go and look at the breakdown. You begin to wonder, where do people come in here? How do people benefit from this one? It's not just unfortunate. It's not rocket science. To fix this country is not rocket science at all. But we don't have the people with the capacity and the deliberate effort to get this country on the right path. We don't have the people with that capacity. We don't have the people with the patriotic commitment to get Nigeria on the right path, the path of development and growth. We don't have. We do not. It's quite unfortunate. And that's what all this budgetary confusion tells you. That's it.
And when we're talking about budgets also, we cannot separate that from borrowing and borrowings going on in the federal government or by the federal government. Amid 30 trillion naira probe, National Assembly amends CBN's Act to raise ways and means loans to federal government. That's another one that is there still on the Guardian newspaper this time, not Daily Trust. The Guardian newspaper. Amid 30 trillion naira probe, National Assembly amends CBN's Act to raise ways and means loans to federal government. I heard it's to raise it to about 10% or so, and some opposition lawmakers walked out of the House when that was being deliberated and all that. So what's your take? Ways and means.
Well, we should look, Nigeria is not just neck deep in debt. We are, all the body, the whole head is neck deep in debt, and a time has come that even the whole annual budget might be going to debt servicing, not even repayment, to debt service. We wonder that how did we get here when by 2007, Olusegun Obasanjo, as bad as it might be as a president, was able to write off Nigerian debt. How come that in less than a decade we are back to where we are now, even worse off in terms of owing, in terms of our national debt. It's just the recklessness in spending, the luxurious lifestyle of those in power. Those are the factors that have led us to where we are today. So heavy budget deficit, financed by borrowing. How do you get development in that? How do you get the development? How do you make progress in that? How do you take Nigeria to the next level of development in that? How do you compete with other progressive nations in the world? How do you? So that is it, because you know everything, all the policies, all the budgets, all the whatever implementation they are making is just about the people in power and not that. They forget about the people that put them in power. That is why protests like this are necessary. That is why the people must show and display their anger. That is why the people must be on the street to demand for good governance. That is why the people must demand accountability and responsibility from the people that voted into power. And that is why Nigerians should not keep quiet. I will not keep quiet. We will not keep quiet. We'll be on the streets for as long as possible. Yes, I agree with Buhari Borua for say, okay, for the sake of security of the people, for the sake of lives and property and the rest of that, for the sake of our country, for the sake of protecting our democracy, let's limit it in the first instance to 3 days. If they don't listen, the people should come out again. And then nobody knows what is going to happen thereafter. And that is it. The government is not talking to the people. The government is not addressing the issues. The government is not addressing the people. The president has kept quiet as if it means nothing. As if people are just making noise. As if it is not concerned. And, well, when people's anger overblow, if it blows over, and like I said, there are no forces on earth that can stop the people that are angry and they are demanding for their right. So that is it. You should know that you cannot sit pretty in Nassau Rock and think that nothing will happen, that everything can fall. It has been shown that we have seen it in history. Even where they have good leaders, but people got angry, like in Libya. Now Libyans are regretting the death of Muammar Gaddafi now. Now they are clamoring for the days of Muammar Gaddafi to come back. But it's too late. It's too late for that. So, whether you like Gaddafi or not, the only area that Gaddafi failed was in the area of human rights. And when you have passed in every other area and you are hurting the rights of the people, your government will go that you are going down. Because the human spirit, the human nature abhors oppression and suppression and tyranny. That is it. He managed the country well. He built infrastructures. He took Libya to the heights to compete with the best countries in the world. But he didn't give the people their rights.
Yeah, but even the definition of human rights, was according to who? Was it according to Libyans or according to the external powers that wanted him out of office? Because sometimes we'll have to consider this as well.
Well, you know, if you look at the American Constitution and the people, let's not talk about that. All the political scientists from all the notable political scientists have defined that the human right is natural, it's innate. The right of the human being is like you are. When they say fundamental, when you are born with it. We know that nobody should be unlawfully and legally arrested or detained. It's a right that everybody should know. You have a right to life. You have a right to your faith. You have a right to education. You have a right to, freedom of movement and the rest of that.
But there are a lot of people who will say that the definition of these human rights have been so expanded in the Western world that it accommodates a lot of things that in years past it would have been something that will take you to the psychiatric hospital.
Abomination. It would have been an abomination. It's like I don't want that kind of right in my country. I don't want that kind of right in my community. The right to say that if you are a human being, you can say, look, as I'm looking at you like this, you claim that you are a dog, and you have a right to say you are a dog. You have a right to say you are a snake. You have a right. A man will say he's a woman. I'm vice versa. No, that's not going to happen. Those kind of rights are no longer. Are no longer even human. It is abominable. It is abominable. It is opprobrious. It is something. It is absolutely reprehensible. All this, you don't expand human rights to say that you do anyhow, that you can do anyhow, you can act anyhow. That is not human rights. That is anarchy. That is crisis. That is actually a high level of insanity. Those are not right. We are talking about the fundamentals, not about this expanded rights of people marrying a dog, people marrying a fowl. They say you are free to marry. The other day, one man roll up a rug that he bought, a woman roll up a rug she bought with her money and took it to the court and said they should bury her together as husband and wife. I'm not talking about the right to be mad. The right to be insane. I'm not talking about the right to be unreasonable. You understand? So we are talking about for the fundamentals. Fundamental right to life, to shelter, to food, to education, to health. These are fundamental right of freedom of movement and the rest of that. So far, even where the freedoms are enlarged, are expanded, your freedom must not encroach upon my freedom. That is why today, when we go on the street, we should not obstruct traffic. We should not stop people who have decided not to be part of the protest, who want to go to their work. You have no right to force anybody into this protest. You allow people who want to protest. You allow people who don't want to be part of it to go their own way. Because you cannot sit on any high moral ground to claim that everybody must join you on the protest. So this is the kind of things that we are talking about. Not the rights to a human being to claim to be an animal, not the right for anybody. See, look, if you allow that kind of recklessness, you are no longer going to have a society. What you are going to have is anarchy. What you are going to have is the breakdown of law and order. What you are going to have is an animal farm. It's an animal farm. What you are going to have is that you are going to go back to the obnoxious state of nature. That's what you are going to go back to. We cannot encourage that. Those are not human rights. Those are not human rights. We are talking about the fundamental. So whoever determined what the right was in Libya, I was there. I saw the development. I saw how the people were enjoying. I saw how they were enjoying their petrodollar in terms of free education, in terms of free health, in terms of good roads, good schools, scholarship to students, and everything like that. Yes, it's not as if Gaddafi was perfect, but he managed the country very well. Of course, he angered the Western world, who now supported the other elements within the state to now overthrow him and kill him. And now, but the citizens of the country are regretting now that they did that to him. It's kind of unfortunate.
Okay, let's look at some two headlines here. One is from the Nation newspaper. NEL Fund or NEL Fund disburses 1.1 billion naira as tuition fee to 20,000 students. Institutions, that's the writer there, institutions get 850 million naira, each beneficiary to receive 250,000 naira for upkeep. So 20,000 students, 1.1 billion has been spent on them so far. But a related story, or to me at least is related, is on the Punch newspaper, which says students may pay 80,000 naira electricity fee in universities. That's according to the VC's panel. So on the one hand, government is trying to give loans to students so that it will be a bit easy for them in school, in lieu of, instead of giving them free education, they're giving them loans, and it's acceptable. Okay, fine, let's get the loans. But on the other hand, you are expected to pay, or it's projected that you may have to pay 80,000 naira electricity bill. So it's like the devil giving you on one hand and demanding with the other hand.
It's even worse than that, because you are giving, it's like you are giving somebody 10 things and you have to let him 30 back. By the time you remove 80,000 naira from 250 for electricity alone, what about food? What about academic materials like handouts or books and other things? You know, it's not even enough, and then you are in debt. Already you are indebted to the government. You need to pay back the loan. But what they are taking from you is even higher than the loan. So there is likelihood of even you owing outside of the government, because there are some students who even borrow to educate themselves. It's as bad as that. So you can see what we are talking about. Why should the student even pay for electricity inside the campus? You know, why should they? I mean, there are things that are basic things that these people can do to ameliorate the suffering in the land. Why can't government take care of electricity on the campuses, in the laboratories? Why can't they take care of that? Like you give them the loan, then you are putting them. They are tying them. It's a loan imprisonment. It's a loan imprisonment by the government. It shows that they don't mean well for these students. And for me, I don't believe in this figure of 20,000 students. So who are they? Which schools do they attend? What are their names? So we want to see all those evidence. You know, you can't just come on newspaper and say we're giving 50,000 to 20,000 students. Who are these students? Which schools do they attend? Well, where are the details? We need the details. Put them in the newspapers. Let's be sure that these people exist. Let's be sure they are not ghost students. Let's be sure that this money didn't go to private pockets. And then you claim 20,000 students. Which schools? Who are they? What are their names? Where are they from? From which state? From which local government? We want to know. That is transparency. 20,000 students from where? Where are we? Why are we not seeing them on social media claiming that we have collected 50,000 naira from the government? Where are these students? We need to see them. We need to know. I don't believe that is published by the newspaper doesn't make it true. That somebody says so from government doesn't make it true. We have been lied to so many times that we don't have to believe everything they say. The show up thing claim billions, trillions of naira was spent. What was the benefit? Now they're talking of palliatives, they're talking of loans, and then they're giving us figures. Just giving us figures. They are figures that have no basis in reality and statistics. We need to see. We need to know. Let them release the 20,000 names on any website. So we go there and see. Their schools, impossible, their telephone numbers. So we can confirm. I don't believe they gave any 20,000 students 50,000 each. I don't believe so. I challenge them to publish the names. I challenge them to give us the details. That's it. I don't believe so. Even if it were true, maybe they give to 1,000 or 2,000, it is still the same thing. Because give them 20,000 out from it, 80,000 is gone, automatically gone. Now, what about food? What about transportation?
All right, Comrade Adebayo, let's just take a breather. We're being joined by a security expert who will be talking to us about the security implications and the best way to go about this protest today and beyond, if it has to go beyond today. We're being joined by Mr. Augustine Ega. Good morning and welcome to the program, Mr. Ega. Okay, I think he's having issues reconnecting with us now. Let me just go back to you, Comrade Adebayo. Augustine Ega, we've lost contact with him now. We're still on the newspapers and we're talking education. We've just talked about 80,000 naira that may be paid by every student for electricity as electricity bill. But we have also seen another headline here on the Punch newspaper. Federal government withholds 4.9 billion naira Unity Schools meal subsidy. I don't know why that is happening. Yeah, so that would help that one. So subsidy to schools or for schools feeding unity schools has been upheld. I'd like to get your comment on that.
It still boils down to what I've been saying about confusion in government. That these people are confused. They don't know what they are doing. They don't have policy focus. That's what I've been trying to say. This is policy anarchy. They don't have a grasp of what they want to do with the government that they have, that they're in charge of. They don't know. There's ignorance, there's confusion. They don't know what to do. So on one hand, you say you are giving people 250,000 naira. On the other hand, 80,000 naira. The other time, for something billion with the health and the rest of that. I've said it on this platform before. If you really want to help the people out of this terrible economy, let the government, like for the next 2-3 years, say that we are paying for WAEC of secondary school students. That okay, all higher institution students in Nigeria, we are giving you a season of that the government will pay for your tuition for the next 2-3 years. That is direct palliative going to the people. You understand? Okay. And instead of saying I'll give you 250,000 naira, we are collecting 80,000 naira for electricity, you pay 50,000 naira for accommodation, then you pay 25,000 naira for water, then you pay this, and then of course the money is gone. The money given to you.
Okay, comrade, we've been joined by
government is also collected by the government.
We have been joined by Augustine Ega right now. Let's just take some comments from him and then return to you for a wrap-up of some sort. Mr. Ega, good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Yamgo.
Okay.
It's a pleasure to join you this morning.
Yes, it's always a pleasure having you. Today Nigerians are going on the streets. That's not a question anymore, whether they are going on the streets or not. They will go on the streets. The magnitude of the people on the streets is not known yet, but people will like we say, will shall go on the street. I like to use that. Now, we're worried about the security implications and the best way to conduct themselves during this protest, because the last thing we want is anarchy, the last thing we want is violence and all that. So what are the things to look out for? Because we've had Comrade Adebayo here in the house also telling us that some of them who are stakeholders are going out on the streets not only to protest and make their voices heard, but also to make sure that they maintain this law and order and make sure that even if it's the citizens, or even if the citizens need to arrest others that are trying to foment trouble, they will have to do that. So the people who are organizing this protest are concerned about security as well. So what are these things to look out for, and what should be done to make sure that this protest is peaceful as we want it, and then we don't have any cause to complain after the protest?
All right. From my own opinion, I think as they go out, they should go with the mindset of achieving what they should achieve. What I mean is, some people will go with the mindset of violence, while others want it peaceful. And in those gatherings, there will be some other small gatherings inside the big gatherings that would always want to foment trouble. So those who are in those gatherings, they should quickly identify those gatherings that are not for the real thing. Because some gatherings are there to hijack the whole situation, turn it political, and frustrate the whole idea of making their voices heard. So when they go to such gatherings, they should quickly identify those places that could lead to violence and then move away from those places. As well as when they are there, there will always be police. The police are already there to conduct themselves, to help them conduct themselves as they go on. I think they should be law-abiding when they go there. We call it a protest. If we turn it violent, I'm sure we will not get to where we are going. It will become something like a bloody situation, and it can turn to war. It's very possible that things like this can turn to war and allow terrorists to hijack the situation and make things worse for us. So we lost the whole idea of this protest. So they should abide by the laws and by the rules that they meet on ground and just continue to express themselves. That's what I think is the best thing to go.
Okay, but what are some of the pointers that will show these people, because they are not security experts, what are the things that they should look out for to know that there's a possibility that this group or that individual may be having a different idea from what we have, or the reason why we're gathered here?
Of course, it's always verbal. It will be a verbal expressions, incitement with comments that are not good. Do you know that such comments will definitely lead to violence? They're trying to like buy people into their own kind of thinking. I know when we meet at small gathering, hear something like, we don't agree, this thing too much, in our own kind of Nigerian language. I think when they hear those kind of comments, and some of them will be more aggrieved than others. Some will be more aggrieved than others, and some will be under substance. I'm sure that in some of those gatherings, you see people drinking. There will be some of them taking hard drugs or alcohol. And you know, people with such substance, they can always turn the other way around and make everything violent. So when they see people in this kind of situation, substance abuse and all that, it's not a place they should stand. Because definitely those people, after using those substances, they will definitely ferment trouble. They will not care whether there's law enforcement or there's any rule in that place. They will break the rules.
Okay. Let me go back to Comrade Adebayo so that he can give us a final word and sign off. He can't wait to go on the street and organize the people, because he doesn't want chaos, he doesn't want violence. So the earlier he goes out, the better for him. So Comrade Adebayo, let me come back to you. Today the protest is happening, and you are going to be one of the leaders there that will make sure that there's law and order and make sure that the voices of the people are heard. Would like to have your final comments before you go. Maybe talk to the people that you are going to meet on ground, and some of them that may not be where you are at this moment, how to conduct themselves during this protest.
Well, thank you so much. What I would just say is that we must conduct ourselves in a way that will not turn the people against us. Because if you, nobody should obstruct the road, nobody should stop anybody going their own. Other people have things they want to do. Maybe some people have health challenges, they need to use the road, they need to use their car. So don't obstruct the road, let the people go. People who want to go to hospital, people want to see medical intervention and the rest of that. You don't obstruct the road, don't attack anybody, don't attack any institution, don't destroy properties, just do the protest as peaceful as possible. And like I said the other time, the people must, ensure that they identify the bad eggs and effect citizen arrest if they see that some people want to engage in breakdown of law and order. This is a noble cause by Nigerians who are genuinely aggrieved about how things have turned in their country. And we must go out there, show our anger, make our demands, and for the government itself to be proactive enough to at least make some concessions, benefit from anarchy. Nobody can benefit from violence. Nobody can benefit from bloodshed. It will be double losses for the Nigerian people. Why the people we are protesting against have their children abroad, don't do anything that will amount to killing one another. We must do this responsibly. We must do this intelligently. We must do this patriotically to show the world that what we are after, what we are demanding is good governance, is responsible people in power, is for the economy to benefit every Nigerian, not just the people that are in power. It's for education to be affordable, health to be affordable, food to be affordable to the generality of Nigerians. This is what this is all about. Beyond a certain level, nobody will be able to control it. And I agree once again with Sam Ebwade Borua, who has said that in the first instance, it's not the end. In the first instance, the protest probably should be limited to 3 days. Then we give government another 2 weeks or another 2 months or another 1 month. We don't see a good response from them, then people can go back to the street. Nigeria shall be great. Nigeria shall be great. In our lifetime, Nigeria shall be great, because we are going to have good leaders who will come on board. Thank you so much.
Adebayo, the spokesperson of the Coalition of Political Parties, CUPP, in Nigeria, talking with us. We wish you safety wherever you're going, and may you be successful in whatever you want to do today.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you.
Now we have been joined by Dorofai, one of our correspondents in, is it Kaduna State? Unmute yourself, please. Welcome to the program. Habila. We still can't hear you. Unmute yourself. You're still mute, so that we can hear you.
Hello.
Yes.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning to you. So give us the situation report where you are right now in your state.
Okay. Presently in Kaduna State, everywhere is calm. The state just go out the Kaduna metropolis. Everywhere was calm. Some of the shops were closed. People were beginning to come out gradually. You can see all over everywhere, people were people around the places and the community. Sure, no. But as it is now, there is no any sign of protest by any individual or group.
Could you speak out a little bit more, because I'm finding it difficult to hear you?
Okay, as it is now, there is no any sign of protest that is going on in Kaduna State here. Everywhere is calm. The people were going out about their daily businesses. And we can able to see that there are security all over around. They are built up in the local communities and some strategic places to ensure law and order around the city. And yesterday, the security operatives embarked on the show, of course, where 25,000 security personnel were deployed across the local government area to ensure law and order across the state. And in case of if there is any protest. And according to some of the security agencies, police said there is no any formal letter that was presented to them in respect of our protest. But as it is now, there is no any sign of protest. There is nobody going out for any protest. Everywhere is peaceful in Kaduna State as it is now.
Actually, are you standing right now in Kaduna State? Because it's good that we've heard that the entire Kaduna State is very peaceful. We like that. And where you are, nobody is gathering for protest and all that. But where is the actual location that you are right now?
Okay, I am at all the places security agency, I will continue to see 5 police who are moving around, going out there, people, and the shops.
Okay, we can't hear Dorify well. Yeah, okay, Dorify, thank you. Thank you so much for giving us situation report. We are glad to know that it's peaceful in Kaduna State. Well, that was our correspondent from Kaduna State, Habila Dorify, talking to us about the situation. And he said that nobody so far is gathering for anything. In some states, we understand the protest will begin by about 9 o'clock. In some other places, it's about 11 o'clock. And some other places, it's earlier than that. And even when it's going to happen later, people are converging on different locations for these protests and all that. But we're glad that so far, everywhere that we've heard information coming in about the protest, that it has been peaceful. We like that. Okay, so we will be joined by Valentine Osumbo soon to tell us what is happening in the South-South, I think Bayelsa State also right now. And when he joins us, he will be giving us a situation report. We also are going to be joined by Mukhtar Mohammed, who will be talking about the economic implication of this. But let me go back to Mr. Ega, the security expert. In Kaduna State, according to our correspondent here, yesterday there was a show of force by the police. 5,000 policemen were on the streets showing that they are on ground. Possibly not to tell the people that they are going to get protection, but to show them that you do anyhow, you see anyhow. And so today people are not protesting. Maybe this is one of the reasons why people are not on the streets and all that. But do you think, as a security expert, that this show of force will translate into something good for let's say, that Kaduna State that we are seeing, or it will just it will just be a solution for a short while, and until the people decide that, hey, you know what, no matter what happens, something must kill a man. Do you think the show of force was a good option, and the fact that they are not protesting now shows that the security agencies have won? Mr. Ega, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So
I think the purpose of the show of force, at Kaduna is a very critical point for the survival of Nigeria. Kaduna, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, Kaduna is a critical place for the survival. Yeah, I say Kaduna State is a critical place for the survival of Nigerian government, especially where we have a lot of infrastructure, military infrastructure in Kaduna State. It's more of our powerhouse. And so if there's a show of force in Kaduna, it doesn't mean that other states will not still represent, because this is a nationwide strike, it's a nationwide protest. Kaduna or no Kaduna, from other states that will protest, it will still benefit every state. I know that Kaduna, on my own part, I think it's not bad if they have enhanced security in Kaduna State, because we have the Nigerian NDA, we have a lot of military installation in Kaduna State. If anything goes down in Kaduna, I'm sure the Nigeria will be affected. So I can see why there is heightened security in Kaduna State. So Lagos is still there, Port Harcourt is there, Abuja and other states. We are all in the same shoes. We are all running the same course. Even the police that are protesting, or police that are being used to heighten security, we are all buying from the same market. We are all feeling the same pain. But of course, it's an executive order. They must do what they have to do.
Outfits are in Kaduna State and all that. We would expect that they will have more security for the people who want to protest. Wouldn't it have been better for the people to have a controlled protest, so that it would be that they vented their grievances in some way, rather than muffle them and say that you cannot say anything because in Kaduna we have the security agencies and security infrastructure so we will show you that we are here. Would it not be better for them to be controlled? The people protesting, that is what I mean. Would it not be better to control them and let them vent their anger or whatever it is, at least for some time, and in a controlled environment, rather than showing that force? That's what I'm asking.
Okay, I think their rights cannot be completely taken. Of course, what the media is reporting might be something different there. But you see, there's always crime history in every area, that when you do your crime analysis and profiling of the environment, you should know that certain measures of force is required to control a certain environment. I'm not saying they should take their rights out completely, but if you come to the southern states, there's a way there will be a reaction. In the north, we also know that there are a lot of elements embedded in their system or embedded in the communities that could take advantage and hijack this protest, and it becomes something more terrible. We have had a lot of terrorist attacks in Kaduna and some other states. So in these states, the heightened security in those areas will be different. The level of tolerance by the government will be different in those states. But I'm sure and I'm certain that they will completely not hinder them from coming to express themselves. They will still have a way of expressing themselves. But I know that in some areas, they will not permit them to go in those areas because of the military installations that they have, or the criticality of the infrastructure they have in those areas.
For giving us a security perspective, and we'd like to just say thank you. Be safe wherever you are, sir.
Thank you, Yambu.
Okay, we still have other people joining us. We have Valentine Osumbo, who is in Edo State, but we also have been joined by Mr. Mukhtar Mohammed, a financial expert who will be talking with us. He's an international finance and economic analyst. Good morning and welcome to the program, Mukhtar.
Um, Yeah, thank you for having me. I think my video is still is mute by the people in the studio, so I cannot mute my video here.
Yeah, but okay, we'll correct that. But in the meantime, we have your voice and we want to hear from you. This protest has been planned for a long time. Government was given ample opportunity to make amends to a lot of things that Nigerians are crying about and all that. But we'd like to know, this protest will hold. It will hold, even though some places are peaceful, but in some areas it will hold. And whether it holds or not, it has had an impact more than even some other protests that have been held in the past, because a lot of people are on their toes right now. But let's know the financial implication, the economic implication of this protest on our economy as a nation. Mukhtar?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So the economic implication of this protest is what we'd like to know.
Well, like you said, you hit the nail on the head. The protest is already holding. In one way or the other, people are not going to work today. The banks are shut down. The market are shut down. In its commercial city like Lagos, everywhere is shut down. Messages were sent by companies to individuals saying they shouldn't even bother coming to their offices to do anything. So definitely that shows the success of the protest already. Economically, I think we are losing, according to statistics, we are losing about 430 billion naira today. You know that Nigerian economy is an informal sector-driven economy where people live their life by daily income, not by monthly income, because that job is not even available. So if you look at that with what has happened, I think the protest is already a success. The fact that companies can shut down almost throughout the day, market are closed. So you saw the panicking yesterday, especially in Lagos, where people ran to the market to buy things to stock their houses full stock. That shows how successful the strike has been. I mean, the protests have been. For the government, I think the government have not acted well. I think with not trying to use a derogatory term, but I think this is the most I'm trying to look for a better word to say unprecedented arrogancy from this government. It's an unprecedented arrogancy. We've never seen a government in Nigeria that is so arrogant like this present government, because it seems to use intimidation on the people, and the people are hungry. They don't know. Nobody is talking about which party they belong to at the moment. Everybody is hungry. And then for the governor of Lagos to come out to say the protest is based on a change of government. Nobody is talking about changing of government. They say end bad governance. Doesn't mean, unless he's telling us that they are the one perpetrating bad governance, then that means they are the ones trying to put an end to their own government. So I think they've tried to use political, they've tried to use religion, they've tried to use tribalism. But like I always say, political, religion, and tribalism does not have whether you belong to one religion, you belong to one tribe, belong to one political party. One guy is a language that everybody will feel. So I think the government have not helped or clothe themselves in glory with the way they've handled this situation. Economically, it's going to be disastrous for Nigeria going forward. We'll see that when the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics will release their results. I mean, their data about the performance of the economy. So for me, I think the economy is going to be worse hit, and if government does not do something urgently, I expect by now Mr. President would have been addressing the nation, telling us measures that will put in place to improve the economy. Clergyman, you never came up with any concrete effort on what you are doing. Rather, you came out that a bag of rice available
for 50,000 and minimum wage is 70,000. If I use all my 50,000 to buy a bag of rice, what will I use 20,000 be able to take me through the month to even cook stew when tomatoes itself is over 50%? So it just shows a government that seems not to know what to do and not really doing anything about this current situation that we are facing in this country.
You mentioned the figure, and I'm sure the average Nigerian who may not be an economist to understand these things will just be looking at you. So we make up to 430 billion in a day. Is that what you're saying? And then we're still
what I'm saying, yes. When you look at it, sometimes we take our economy for granted. It's an informal-driven economy. So what it means is that in terms of output to the economy, in terms of trade and balancing of trade, in terms of contribution, we are not just looking at the monetary side. You're looking at the time. You're looking at companies that will be shut down. You're looking at businesses that you look at the transportation sector alone. In Nigeria, it's a billion naira industry. That industry is totally shut down today. You look at the market, which is billions. I mean, you're talking of market, billions. That is the informal sector. 90% of Nigeria are in the informal sector. So it's a huge loss to the economy. I'm just being conservative by saying about 430 billion. It could be more than that. You're talking of Lagos. You're not talking about Abuja. You talk of Lagos, you look at Abuja, you look at Sokoto, you look at Kaduna. I hear a reporter in Kaduna saying that some shops are open, some shops are closed. Look, in Lagos, it's a total shutdown. There's no business anywhere. Even banks are shut down in Lagos. Even markets are shut down. The fear is there. So definitely when you look at this, you are talking about an economy that is daily driven by daily income.
Okay. Well, I don't know how this is, but we do hope that the government will rise up. We've been saying it on this program, and so many other people, I'm sure, have been saying it, that the president should have been addressing us, if not on daily basis, at least on weekly basis, since he heard about this protest. But his proxies are the ones telling us what he is planning and what he has been doing. Secretary to the federal government was the one who convened a meeting the other day with some other high-ranking people. Then we'll be hearing. Sorry
to interrupt you. They are not telling us. They are not telling us what the president is doing. They are intimidating us. They are intimidating. All of a sudden, they are running to court. They are bringing judgment, restricting protesters to MK Abiola Stadium, restricting protesters to. I mean, it's unprecedented arrogancy. I can say it. It's a government that does not think not thinking of the people. The president has not rolled out any palliative. The only palliative is rice at 50,000 naira a bag. How can that work? The president has not come out to say we are going to reduce electricity tariff. You just said it. I was listening to your newspaper where the vice chancellors have made that every student will be paying 80,000 naira for electricity tariff. I mean, it's annoying. It's very annoying. You go where you have meeting with religious leaders, closed door meeting, traditional rulers, and they come out and they are pleading with us to give them time. There's a saying in Yoruba land, they said the pounded yam that will be sweet. It's from the pounding that you begin to notice that pounded yam will be very good. They say it's only 1 year. In this 1 year, we have suffered what we've not suffered in 25 years, even over a decade.
Well, but they say the rot is from other governments, so we should give them more time and all that. So, I don't know.
I just said it. They wrote to a place where you see a government that will have your interest in the long term. You see policies. What are the policies? The policies are establishing Nigerian more. Their policies are killing business. Their policies are making multinational leave Nigeria. Their policy are creating more unemployment. So what? The policy is destroying business, daily business, day by day. Infrastructure is non-existent. Nigeria is a city of class. Some people are in Band A, enjoy electricity for almost 20 to 22 hours. Some people are in Band E, enjoy electricity for only 2 hours. Is that what is going to help us go forward?
Oh well, Mukhtar, Nigeria's problems, when we begin to talk, we cannot even finish. But we've seen that it's a big loss to the nation, and the government should do something expeditiously to make sure that Nigerians, the tension in Nigerians is doused, and we move on fine. Maybe the protest will not hold for the whole 10 days, but even if it holds for 1 day or 2 days, they should not start coming out to shout that we have won because you couldn't hold it for 10 days, you were just making mouth, because they're prone to saying things like that. If a whole president of the Senate will say that while you're on the streets, we'll be somewhere enjoying, that's very terrible.
It's arrogant. There will be somewhere right down the street, there will be somewhere eating.
Yes, yes.
Can you imagine that? From somebody that's supposed to be the number 3.
It's terrible.
Arrogant. Very arrogant government.
Well, but like I said in the beginning of the show, our people say that for peace to reign after a war, you don't count the heads. So if we begin to say all the evil things that those in government have done, then maybe we'll burn down the country. But that shouldn't be it, because we still have interests of the nation at heart, and we want peace to reign, and we want good governance to reign supreme in our country. But thank you for opening our eyes to what the economy will lose or gain after this protest.
Don't
thank
gain,
you so much.
lose.
Well,
no gain.
Oh, well.
Maybe gain going forward. Maybe the only gain we'll have is if government reverse policy to make businesses grow after this protest.
So
but outside of that, whether for 2 days, whether for 1 day, we are already counting the losses.
Well, thank you for your thoughts this morning, Mukhtar. It's always a pleasure having you on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Well, Mukhtar is an international finance and economic analyst. He was talking to us about the economic implications of this protest to the Nigerian economy, and not just to the Nigerian economy as a government, but to the people of Nigeria as well. We'll join our Edo correspondent to give us a situation report before we bring you another segment of the show this morning. So Valentine Osumbo is standing by. Valentine, good morning and welcome to the program. Valentine, are you there? We don't seem to have have Valentine connect with us right now, so we'll just take a short break, and when we return, we'll be taking our next guest, and to end up the show, we'll be looking at what is happening in Edo State. So right now, just stay with us for a moment.
Welcome to Bayes University, Abuja, Nigeria, with a legacy of excellence and a vision for nurturing future leaders. Bayes University is in a league of its own. We're all about our people, processes, and technology.
Bayes is one of the highly rated universities in Nigeria in terms of product quality standards.
We don't just produce graduates, but groom people into employers of labor.
And it has made us understand that learning is all about 3 things. We learn, we unlearn, and we relearn.
Bayes University Hospital offers a range of specialized services equipped with the latest technology, manned by a team of trusted professionals. And now, our vision extends beyond our walls with the Baba Ahmed University in Kano following our lead. Join us at Bayes University and invest in your future today.
Bayes University is the institution that you will get the best value for money education in Nigeria.
Bayes University. Learn to live.
Picture this. You're sitting at a table, ready to indulge in a mouth-watering meal. Stop. For many of us, it is hard to resist the temptation, especially when it comes to enjoying a juicy beef dish. But have you ever stopped to think about the impact of your food choices on the greater good? Our food choices have a great impact on others. The beef industry is one of the leading contributors to deforestation. As trees are cleared to make way for cattle ranching, it not only disrupts the delicate balance of ecosystems, but also contributes to climate change. We can make a difference with our choices. It does not mean we all have to become vegans overnight. Imagine enjoying fish and poultry a few times a week, indulging in beef just once a month, and filling our plates with plenty of plant-based goodness. Every little bit counts, and even small reductions in our intake can make a huge impact on the climate. By making smarter food choices, we're not only taking care of ourselves, but also the planet we call home. Remember, the choices we make today lead to a better tomorrow.
African girl somewhere is sitting at home, accompanied by dreams that seem so far away. Africa is one of the continents with the highest out-of-school percentage in education, and girls are at an early disadvantage. The sub-Saharan Africa records about 18 million out-of-school girls. This gender gap extends to the tech space with a projection of only a 33% global female workforce representation in tech firms for 2022. Let us help change the stories and numbers. Africa Agility's Project Train a Girl campaign is working to help train African girls in tech. You can donate as little as $2 or 2,000 naira to help a girl in tech get her heels in the door. Visit www.africaagility.rallyup.com/PTAG to donate.
My name is Adejokela Sisi. I'm the founder and creative director of Planet 3R. At Planet 3R, we convert textile and plastic waste into eco-friendly products. The motivation actually came from a rural community in Ibadan here. Whenever it rains, the whole place, people will not be able to go inside the community. If it rains overnight, people will not be able to go to school, they will not be able to go to work. Anytime the water now goes away, you now realize a lot of waste. And I was like, this is actually the root cause of this problem, improper waste management system. Then I look at it that, what can we do to solve this problem? And that was how I started using the weaving skill that I've acquired from my mom since I was 9 years old. Then I started using it to weave those waste to now make sure that we now convert them into beautiful items like bags, shoes, even clothing. I actually participated at Womenpreneur Season 3, that was 2021. One of the things I really gained at that time was business development. You know, it's not just about the talent now or having to know how to convert the waste or having the idea, but to be able to put it into a successful business. I really appreciate what Access Bank is doing for entrepreneurs. Let us now say women now, because most of the time women don't really have much of these advantages. I love the fact that there's an initiative for women. I want to encourage you to make sure that you go and apply honestly. Your life will not remain the same again.
I will take you through this amazing lesson today.
Welcome to Plus Trending. I am Bookie November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's tea time on Plus TV Africa.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to marry 100 if he wants to.
Well, we'll take a break from the national protest and talk money, talk some other fortunes. And right now we're looking at the fact that Fidelity Bank has extended public share offer period, and we are going to be we have been joined by the ED, Chief Operations and Information Officer, Fidelity Bank PLC, who is in the person of Mr. Stanley Amuche. Good morning and welcome to the program, Mr. Amuche.
Thank you. Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Yes, in the short time that we have, let us just know about this offer that you have put forward. How is it going so far? What's the response like, and is it meeting your expectations?
Yeah, thank you very much. The offer is going well. The subscription is very good and strong. We've seen that people are subscribing, and that shows that they appreciate the level of work that the bank is doing. And that's what we've seen, in the last few days that the offer has been running.
So what date has it been extended to, and what is the rationale behind doing that at this moment?
Okay, good. So the offer started on the 20th of June, and it was supposed to close on the 29th of July. That's 28 days. But it's been extended to 12th of August, additional 10 business days. And the rationale is because when we started off, we realized that
some investors thought that the money could be returned to them because they felt that the offer size was not big enough. Of course, we started this before the CBN announced the recapitalization in the industry. So that was our own internal estimate of what we needed for our business at the time. So what we've done is to go back to the shareholders to get additional shares in offer so that if there's oversubscription, we can take that. So what we're seeing now is a situation where some of the people who subscribed before are coming back to top up their initial subscription because they couldn't maximize their plan or get enough or subscribe for enough because they were scared that monies could be returned to them. So the essence of the extension, one, is to give them that time to be able to optimize their appetite for our shares. And secondly, when the NGS opened a virtual platform for subscription, that came in 30 days into our offer. So most of the retail subscribers who want to use that platform didn't have up to the 28 days to use that. So, I mean, with this extension, that gives enough time for those who want to subscribe through that platform to still continue to subscribe. Okay. So those are the reasons for the extension, and I think most of the subscribers and investors are finding it very interesting at the moment.
Okay, you just mentioned the recapitalization. How is Fidelity Bank when it comes to that? How far away from the target are you, or are you very close? What happens next?
Okay, good. So we are an international bank with foreign authorization. What it means is that in the classification, we require 500 billion. That's the regulatory capital as defined by the regulator. Currently, we have approximately 130 billion. So the difference to make it up is about 370. So this offer, if successful, at least will take us, we are set to raise 127.1 billion. And then if we take additional oversubscription, that could get us anywhere close to 200 or 205 billion. If you add it to what we have, that will take us to 300. So at the end of the day, for the second phase, we'll have probably a difference of about 170 billion to make up to 500.
Okay, so what if at the end of the day you don't meet the target? What happens to Fidelity?
No, we are very focused on meeting the target. We have our eyes set on it. We don't see anything that will stop us from meeting the target. So everything is in the works. From the support we've seen from investors on this our current offer, we don't see anything that will stop us from meeting it. So we are very focused on that, actually.
So we're also concerned about international investors. What's your hope for them? Are they willing to invest in the bank? And what impact will your branch or the UK London office in investors' confidence? What is the role that it's playing in all this?
Yeah, okay. So when you talk about international investors, we're not seeing a lot of that currently. Of course, it's the reason is not far-fetched. We've had situations where they are still on the waiting side, just waiting to know how the economy pans out. So we've seen a lot of activities from within the country, and then from Nigerians in diaspora who are also trying to invest in Nigeria. So maybe international investors will come in later on, but for now we have not seen a lot happening from their side. So on our UK subsidiary, it's been a strategic move where the acquisition we did last year, and we're seeing that our customers who have their businesses in other parts of the world, we're able to support them either through their trade transactions. We're using our UK subsidiary currently. So it's a very interesting thing, and our customers are very appreciative of the fact that from Nigeria to other parts of the world, we can have a straight through support or service to them. So that's what's going on currently.
So what's the present shares composition? How much of it is owned by principal shareholders, and how much rights issues are they willing to take up from this offer?
No, so basically, all the shares today that you will say they are all held by shareholders, and it's quite diversified. So when we talk about our shareholding here, it's one of the most diversified shares that you hardly have an individual with more than 5%. So it's just diversified among a lot of investors, you know, and therefore most of them are also ready to take up their rights. The initial plan was that for 10 shares you have a right of 1 share, you know, but with the extension and the possibility, so people are also able to take it even more from the right issue. So basically, I think there's interest. We're seeing a lot of people taking up their rights, and we believe that at the end of this offer, they would have been able to take up fully the rights that they have.
Okay, so let's look at what the CBN policy, the new policy is now. Reduce loan to deposit ration from 65% to 50%. They just did that recently. And is your bank, the Fidelity Bank, willing to review the single obligatory limit to 20%? And how will that profit you?
No, okay, so a single obligor is 20% of shareholders' fund is bid, and it's a requirement. It's a requirement by the regulator. So it's not about what we want to do, but that's what it is that we have to do. But the reduction of the loan to deposit to from 65 to 50 is clearly a response. The response that the CBN had, because currently, if you take 100 million deposits, 45 million of it goes to CBN and CRR. So if you've taken 45 to CRR, that means 45% goes as CRR. Therefore, what you have to do with this is 55. So saying you do 65 wouldn't make sense because you don't even have it. So what CBN did was to try and align that to the current situation or the current CRR regime, where 45% stays with the CBN and CRR. You're only left with 55%, and therefore, what I said is that your loan to deposit should be 50, at least you have 5 for other things. So that is what it is, and that's what aligns to the current regime of CRR.
Yeah, there are a lot of people with fear, and understandably so. So anybody who wants to invest in your institution will want to stay informed. First of all, would like to know how much extension or expansion do you want to make, maybe expanding to other African countries and all that, and how can your customers or your investors stay informed?
Okay, good. So, I mean, expansion is one of, if you look at the purpose for this offer, one of it is to expand both domestically and internationally. We've done one step to UK last year. We believe there are other opportunities in other African countries and even other countries of the world. So we're looking for where our customers operate. We look for opportunities in other climes, and therefore we expand to increase stakeholder shareholder value. So we'll continue to do that when we seek out opportunities in any environment where we believe we can do business and be able to improve our performance for the benefit of our shareholders. We'll continue to do that. I think you asked another question. Can you repeat the question? You were asking about, there's a question you asked, please. Can you repeat?
I was talking about expansion. Do you intend to expand to other countries as well?
Yeah, so that's what I just said, that African countries, there are opportunities in African countries, and we'll continue to expand to those
And then
countries.
how can the investors stay in touch with you? Those are the two questions.
Okay, so at each quarter end, we prepare what are investor presentations, which are shared to investors. But twice a year, that's after half year end and full year end, we'll hold investor calls where people can log in to listen to us, present the facts behind the figures, how we have performed for the half year or the full year. You know, so our investors can stay in touch. We have investor relations team that can, any investor who wants to ask any question, just any question about our performance or whatever is happening in the bank, can reach out to our investor relations team. Aside the timely presentations we do to investors to let them know how the bank is doing, the performance of the bank.
All right, thank you. We wish you well. We hope that you'll instill so much confidence in your investors that they know that even in the economic meltdown, nothing do you. Thank you so much, Mr. Amuche, for coming on the show and sharing the information with us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. That was Mr. Stanley Amuche, Executive Director, Chief Operations and Information Officer, Fidelity Bank PLC, talking with us. And that's how we draw the curtain on today's show. Be peaceful wherever you are. Remember that whatever you're doing, you have to, first of all, think about patriotism. Think about your country, Nigeria. And as you go out today, may God go with you. My name is Nyamgul Agaji. Thanks for being there.
Sometimes, it's not just the distance we travel. It's the gaps we close. It's not the things we buy. It's the memories we create. Sometimes, it's beyond the places we go. It's the connections we make. Not just the things we taste. It's the taste of things to come. And it's never a question of if, but when. Because life is always just a bit better with American Express. Introducing the Access Bank American Express Gold Card and the Metal Platinum Card, now available through Access Bank.
Brief. My name is Nyamgul Agaji. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, on Wednesday called on Nigerians not to embark on the planned nationwide protest amid the economic crisis in the land. Akume made the call during a press briefing in Abuja on the eve of the planned demonstrations in 36 states of the Federation and FCT. According to him, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration is making concerted efforts to solve the myriads of challenges confronting the nation.
Nothing good comes easy. And our sacrifices of today are for a better tomorrow. The ongoing economic hardships, they are improving anyway. We'll abate very soon and we shall all enjoy endless prosperity. We therefore appeal to Nigerians of whatever persuasion, belief, demography, gender and status to shun cause for protests against hunger by prioritizing peace and progress. With avoidance of doubts, the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR recognizes the right to peaceful protest, but circumspection and vigilance should be our watchwords. Government is wary of the dangers associated with protests that are vulnerable to being hijacked by bandits, insurgents, and other criminals, as it happened during President NSAS. Rather, we request that dialogue should be advanced and we remain open.
The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, on Wednesday expressed optimism that the planned nationwide protest will be peaceful and orderly. Edun stated this during a ministerial press briefing in Abuja, where he explained that President Bola Tinubu understands the plight of Nigerians, saying inflation was increasing globally, including in Nigeria. According to him, the high cost of living is not peculiar to Africa's populous nation, but a global phenomenon. He also blamed the ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine for the rise in global inflation. While giving an update on the country's economic situation, the minister said the nation is in a state of recovery in the last 15 months, although he didn't specify how. Edu noted that the current administration has stopped the era whereby the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, kept paying the debt over time.
Reform measures that were needed to save the economy, yes, they had led initially to a spike in cost, because it's like medicine. You take the medicine and then the effect comes. However, already we are seeing that the benefits are coming. The economy in the first half of this year has grown.
When the hardship of the food prices was being noticed by government, there was an initial move of pushing 42,000 metric tons of assorted grains to all the states of the Federation. This has been completed only recently. Each of the states of the Federation received at least 20 trucks of rice for onward distribution to the most vulnerable members of Nigerian society.
Lawyer to some of the organizers of the planned hardship protest, Ebunolu Adegboruwa, has appealed to the protesters to reduce the protest to 1 day or a maximum of 3 days. In a statement on Wednesday asked to the eve of the protest, Adegboruwa urged the protesters to be orderly and peaceful as they go out on Thursday to protest in the locations already sent to the police. While saluting the courage of the protesters, he called for engagement with the government on the issues raised to address the same and urged the protest organizers to set up different teams to engage with various government agents for immediate action. The senior advocate, who also warned security agencies against firing bullets, arbitrarily arrest of citizens and deployment of the military. Adegboruwa further advised President Bola Tinubu and his team to immediately reverse the twin policies of oil subsidy removal and currency devaluation. The senior lawyer said the policies have only worked to cripple the economy and throw Nigeria into its worst economic crisis. He also advised the president on the need to urgently end the wastage by government functionaries arising from their lavish lifestyle. Residents of Lagos State have been cautioned to avoid all forms of violent activities ahead of the planned nationwide protest on August 1 to 10. The state governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, gave the admonition on the eve of the planned protest while addressing newsmen at the state.
The modest gain that were made in previous facets of our social economic life as a people and as a state.
Ahead of a planned hunger protest scheduled for Thursday, August 1, the Ariwa community in Lagos State has distanced itself from the action and reaffirmed its support for President Bola Tinubu's government. At a press conference in Lagos, Shehu Usman, the leader of the Ariwa community and traders in Lagos State, announced that they will not be participating in the protest. According to Usman, the planned protest is the work of politicians and their sponsors who, under guise of protesting hardship in Nigeria, have banded together to undermine the democratically elected government of Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. Usman added that while Nigerians have a constitutional right to protest peacefully, targeting Lagos State for a potentially violent protest will not be tolerated by the Ariwa community and traders in the state.
Are not in support of protest because we believe some fifth columnist politicians and those who want to set Nigerian, particularly Lagos, on fire are behind the protest for selfish interests. The image left behind after NSAS protest of 2020 are fresh in our memories. We don't want a repeat of the bad event where many of our people lost property worth billions of naira. We don't want another mass destruction of public and private properties in Lagos State.
By stand as Ariwa Community Chairman, I want to assure our people we are going to arrange a meeting with government and all stakeholders involved to make sure, inshallah, the hardship they are suffering for, we are trying to see how the government can wade in and make things possible for them by God's grace. Inshallah, we are appealing to all our members to remain calm and desist from any form of protest.